Today I'm thrilled to have Tamasa Das joining me as a guest. She's currently a software engineering lead at Optum, where she is building agentic AI solutions. Tamasa has been in software engineering for 7+ years, and her journey started as a system engineer trainee. Apart from that, there's one thing that caught my attention. Besides software engineering, Tamasa is also a rifle shooter at National Rifle Association of India, and she actually climbed the 2 Himalayan peaks. Tamasa, thank you so much for being here. Before we dive in, I'm curious about how did you manage to combine performance sport, which I assume is quite time consuming, and being a full-time software engineering lead?
So I was a sports person first, and then after college, I decided to join the corporate or some other areas to develop. So as a sports person, we were taught discipline, and everyone has 24 hours in a day. So that's how I manage. Like you have to plan your day accordingly. If you wake up by 6, try to manage your practice in the morning, then start working and have a completely disciplined and synchronized life. Probably that is one of the way you can definitely handle two things. But again, like sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's a bit tiring, and but you get best of both worlds if you're planning to do, and that's how it happens.
Okay, so basically you're saying that your secret is the time
Discipline.
management and discipline.
Yes.
Yeah, I can totally support you in that. So basically, time management, especially, is kind of a skill that I noticed too much of engineers might lack. But we will discuss about this a little bit further. First of all, I would like to step back and go back to the beginning of your journey. How did you realize that you want to be a full-time software engineer for a living?
So that story is going to start from 2017 or maybe just 2 years before that. My plan was never to be a software engineer, to be very frank enough. I wanted to join the armed forces, and that was my first path. So I was recommended in the Indian Navy in 2017, but I got eyesight issue. So because you have the glasses on, you can't serve in the defense forces. And that is the time when I have realized that okay, if I have to do some job, I have to figure out quickly before my age goes out. And that was the time I decided to give interviews as an engineer. The other job that is flexible for you once you can't be an officer or a flight lieutenant or anything is be a software engineer. And that's how I ended up in the corporate. And it's been 7 years.
Okay, and did you have like some background that helped you to land for this first engineering role? Like, as I mentioned earlier, you started as a system engineer trainee.
No. Neither my parents were in the armed forces, nor they're into any engineering role. So I think I'm the first person from the family who decided to jump into something that is unknown to everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, and you managed to do it successfully. Okay, that's interesting. So, what since we were speaking about it, what was the first role like? Like, what was the first role at the first company that you landed on?
So, as a college pass out, I had around like 2, 3 offers from Wipro, Infosys, and Cognizant. And the role that Infosys was providing looked something good to me as they were offering us the system engineer trainee. So they will first train you for around like 4 months. It's like your extended college life after your graduation. So that actually gave me a different way of looking into the industry where you get trained, you lead a life there, and then you get deployed for production ready code or something. Simply just the way we have the dev stage and production. So as a system engineer trainee, I joined Infosys after 4.5 months of successful training. We got posted in different areas of India where we started working. My first role was Java full stack, and I was lucky to have that, a greenfield project. which was again, I would say my luck factor did work maybe, or maybe my hard work. The project it was about to start, we around like 4 to 5 people got engaged in that project. And we started with a tech stack of Java, Spring Boot, microservices, and Angular. And in 2018, that was like quite hot topics at that time with the Java 8 features and everything. And almost 3 years I had spent in that greenfield project. So I saw the project getting built from the scratch, like from the login page to the production ready code, the first MVP that got deployed, the first DevOps, the production issues, the hypercare, the incidents. So everything at one go, the company has showed me just by, making me someone to like sustain in the industry with the cutting edge technologies. And that's how the first role looked like.
Since yeah, microservices since the right at the beginning, that could be a little bit overwhelming, I
Yeah,
must say.
yeah, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Because it was 2018, and that was the time when this transition was happening from monolithic to microservices. Angular was there from Angular JS. So everything, like, the first time, lot of things, the features, the stream filters, all these APIs, we started to getting to know, and that's how it happened. So this is what exactly happened with my first engineering role that I was offered.
I assume that was a very deep dive, and yeah, I totally agree with that. And after Infosys, how did you progress in your career?
So I would say Infosys, where mentors and everything was good. But again, after a certain time, you feel that you need more. And again, I'll say that being a sports person, you don't know. Sky is the limit for you. So I talked to some of the seniors there, like if there are some other opportunities in the new project, as this project has already been 3 years for me. And at the meantime, I was also looking around and I got a couple of opportunities in different companies. And IBM looked pretty good to me considering the pay packages. Of course, engineers look for the pay packages at the same time when switching. And then also the tech stack they were hiring, they were actually hiring a Java full stack person as an individual contributor. So it looked good to me, and I decided to move from Infosys to IBM. Though my journey was very short in IBM, I'd say, because of some certain mismatch of expectation that happened there. I what I expected and what I was offered after joining the company in terms of work, I would say. Maybe it might look a little bit more flexible or relaxing, but if I consider myself at that point, I was not ready to settle or relax at that time. The hunger of doing something extra, knowing more, growing in the career was more. So it was a short period for me in IBM, but I would not say that the company wasn't good. I would say probably there was a little bit of expectation level difference, but I learned. I learned a couple of things there. The team was good. And when I was leaving, they also were like, you could have stayed a bit more. So that's how I moved from Infosys to IBM.
Yeah, well, I will never thought that this kind of experience could be at IBM. Like always assume that this is a very great opportunity to learn even more, considering the amount of the company size and the company impact. You can kind of expose to higher challenges, and that could make you grow as an expert. Do you feel like this um, at this point at IBM, it's kind of felt a little bit stagnating? Like,
Yes. That was the reason I changed it. Like before, it became more of a comfort zone where I forget to put myself in a position where I still have the hunger left in me. That, okay, I have to do something, I have to learn, I have to grow. So that was the time when I have decided, okay, let's take a chance and let's see what else is there outside. Because until you walk out of your box, you might not see the whole world outside.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, you have to walk out. You have to take the first step. You have to risk it all again.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, just like in tokens books. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. And what did you do? What did you do to get out of that small stagnation.
All you have to do whenever you feel that you are stuck or you are not getting enough paid, that could be anything. All you have to do is be prepared and start giving interviews. And that all I have done. I started giving interviews and I got offer from Deloitte, Capgemini, and some other companies also. And Deloitte USI was something I always have in my mind to, if I get a chance, I would join. So that worked for me. And I joined Deloitte USI.
Okay, yeah, that actually the companies that you name are like quite big and quite impactful. So I assume, yeah, this is actually a good way to, especially learning by doing and having more practice and be exposed uh, to the challenges that could shape you as could shape you as an expert. Yeah, that's quite amazing. Looking back, is there like a technical skill or area of knowledge that had an impact for your career, like something that you invested in and it paid dividends later?
Like the
Like
tech
the tech
stacks that
stack
I have
that you
been
have been
working with.
working with? Not necessarily. Like maybe you already had like some knowledge of specific tech stack, like you mentioned Java, Angular, I think at some point. Yeah. But like you are already familiar with that. Maybe that made you impact on your career, but maybe at some point something else that uh, changed your view how you can use these tools and uh, make even more provide even more value.
Uh, I will consider that like more of if you are learning one thing, learn it properly. Maybe you are exposed to a lot of technology. It can be Python, it can be Java, it can be anything. But whatever you are learning, make sure you have hands on experience with it rather than some theoretical knowledge, because that's how you get to know when the real life or real world problem will arise, how will you resolve it? Because all we've seen in the industry is about the problem solving skill. There could be hundreds of books written on that. But when it comes down to a server that is not going to work properly or something, it's always an engineer who is sitting behind and trying to figure out and debug and see what problem is there. So, what I have understood as I got some good mentorship in my Infosys career, and there were people, I don't know if they would watch it or not, but two-person were there. One is Pavan and another is Tapas. Literally, before giving interviews or something, if I had any doubt or if I want to learn something, they would have literally opened a blank notepad and would write down the problem and teach me in a way like the way teachers usually do teach the students. If it is a Java 8 feature, if it is the interface or something, they will simply write down and say that you use this method, right? Do you know what is behind this method? Do you know how it works? And that is something I personally believe is, I mean, people should know. Like everyone knows that, okay, for loop does that. Everyone knows that stream does that. How stream do that? How, what is written behind there? So that is something is actually, I feel like a investment from my end of what I have learned and how I got the idea of learning more. If I'm using one particular thing, the internal engineering is something I keen to know because of the people I have worked with. And that worked one of the best way for me. And I have seen that in interviews also when somebody comes and asks that, can you explain this? It's easy for me to explain that because I know how the engineering is going behind it. And I have learned it from the mentors in my career, like how they explain, how they teach.
Yeah. I can see you there. So actually I can share a story of mine which is pretty similar. Like back in the days I was in a team with engineer who was 50 years old at that point. He was like in the software engineering industry, like at that point for more than 30 years. He started with assembly, C++, like all the kind of really low level. But at that point, he was writing in Ruby, and I was also a Ruby engineer myself. And pretty much from he was uh, like I learned from him to look under the hood how the things works, because before that I was looking at Ruby as something, as a black box which can provide some actions, but eventually there is more than that, and some specific functionalities, uh, especially in Ruby, when you have to choose between different solutions, you need to know how it works, and that's how I made this as a habit. And when I transitioned to Golang, that was the same thing that I did. And also because I noticed that this is quite asked on the interviews as well, like in internal mechanics of the Golang is quite often asked at the interview. So that's a very good advice, and I from you, Tamasa, and I can say that it's totally true. Yeah, thank you for that advice. Okay. Tell me about a specific project or initiative that you took on that changed the perception of people around you, like something that you did, and people started to coming to you differently, and additional opportunities opened up.
So I'll not mention one project. I have two. The first long-term project that I was doing in Infosys, that was something. At the end, I became kind of SME person. So whether it's a production issue that is coming, or whether it's a new feature getting developed, or some other issues, people started coming to me and just asking me, okay, you have the end-to-end view. You know where the file is. You know in which service is doing that. So that is actually something. It also gives you an opportunity if you work in a project for more than, couple of years. What happens, right? Especially if it is a scratch one, and if you're interested to know, you get to know the end-to-end flow. So it's easy for you to understand from where such issues can come, especially if you understand the domain. The domain was logistic. It was a French logistic company for which we were building their modernized application, and that's where I feel like the perspective and the way people look at me got changed when they got to know that, okay, if the issue is coming, if we need to know where exactly we need the changes, or how easily we can debug it, they were like pretty comfortable in coming to me. And another project was in Deloitte that we were doing for a financial advisory client. From the client side also, I got some sort of how would I explain, like some couple of awards, I would say, one or two, as for developing some internal, or not, I would say internal, it's related to the project, but some complicated features. So when you work in a financial domain, you know how difficult it is to maintain all the data, especially when your one mistake means your money is gone. So that is something also, like when the feature got developed and all and everything, it actually changed the view for the other people also, because they knew that, okay, if this is something, we need to reach out to her because she has already been into this and already knew that how this is working. So these are two specific projects, I would say, something where technically I also grew myself in a certain way. I got a lot of domain knowledge, because tech stack might be same, but domain is something that gets changed and you get to know more the more you change. And yeah, those two are something that gave me a lot of opportunities, and actually gave me a position to stand out in between the crowds.
And I assume that's how your leadership, like leadership path, also started. So basically, because when you're sharing knowledge and mentoring others, means that you can lead people
Yes.
follow you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a tech lead for a period of 6 to 7 months for a project in Deloitte itself. We had a team of like 5 people. And yeah, like as an individual contributor as well as a tech lead also, that was good. And people used to listen. Like it's not like people will not listen, they will not come to me. And there was I the best thing I have received from there, like for 1 or 2 days, I think I was not available. So I got a message in my phone with one of my team members said, Tamusha, today you weren't there in the call and it felt like we know nothing about the project. All the questions that are coming to us, the only thing we understood is like maybe you had all the answers right at this moment.
Yeah, yeah. That's some sort of trade-off. Yeah, when you are leading, basically there is this. It gives you uh, like a different elevated position, but
Yes.
it also it kind of binds you to this to this project, to this team, and it can make you uh, I would not like to use the word dependency, but some and or bottleneck, but something someone people rely on, and if the team will feel like when you are absent.
Yes, yes. That's a trade-off. It happens, I think, as a lead in any project, usually.
I can tell that, like, for the entire career of software engineering career, like the whole industry is based on
Yeah,
trade-offs, and
true.
it's our we as humans and as engineers, is our job to make the right decision, or the most possible right decision.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. um okay, so you've seen a lot of engineers over the years. As you mentioned, you led a team of engineers. What's the pattern that you noticed? What separates engineers who plateau, stagnate, and stay there from those who keep growing?
Both has pros and cons. But I'm a little bit inclined on the people who are growing because tech stack is something that gets changed every day. We had mainframe long back. We had WebLogic server long back. Now things are getting retired. We are moving to the new tech. Definitely, if you are actually sticking to one particular language, maybe you will know. Not maybe, definitely you will know better than any other people who are shifting or shuffling or juggling from one language to another. But if I look at the current trend of industry and all and everything, it's better if you keep on growing. What if your tech stack or your technology, your language gets obsolete? What will you do? So you shouldn't, if you're doing good work in there, if the technology is growing, definitely it's okay. You can stick to that. But at the same time, you have to keep one thing in your mind that you should be open to adapt because that's how even the human being also goes in the life with the situation, with the lifestyle and everything. You evolve with your life. And so I'm bit inclined to the people who goes and who prefer to, grow in their life with different tech stack. I'm not
I'm
here
not
to
here to
suggest
suggest
anything, but
anything,
I
but
would
I would
say
say
that
that
be
be
open
open
to the
to
new
the
tech
new
stack.
tech
Be
stack. Be
open to
open to
shift.
shift.
Be
Be
open to take
open
the
to take the
challenge, no
challenge, no
matter
matter
how many
how many
years you have
years you have
spent in
spent
one
in
tech,
one tech,
because there
because
is
there
no
is no
firm
firm
confirmation
confirmation
that that
that
will
that will
stay
stay
forever.
forever. And
So,
basically, and basically, it's not starting from the zero.
yeah,
Yeah. Basically, it's just to adapt to some new syntax, some maybe
yes.
additional paradigms. I don't know, but it's not from the ground up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not that big of a deal, and everyone can do it. I can tell I do it, and as I've noticed, you did that as well. So yeah, that's the part of the job. Like, technologies come and go, but big hi to
You
the
should.
Perl.
You should
Yeah,
also
yeah.
try.
Big
Yeah.
hi to the Perl developers, which was pretty popular in the days, but no one except Booking.com, I think, it's using nowadays. So yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay. Here's something I also hear all the time from engineers. Like, I want to grow, and honestly, uh, sorry, I want to grow, but I'm overwhelmed with tickets and meetings. How would I stay relevant while taking also more responsibilities? Uh, taking from your, like, talking about your experience, how did you balance that?
Again, I would say it depends on project to project, company to company. Probably a lot of time I hear the same thing. Even I also had couple of months, couple of weeks going that there are a lot of meetings, one after another, and barely I got a chance to write a single line of code. Definitely. But again, you have to understand what you are prioritizing. If you are not supposed to get any value from the meeting, you can always deny and tell to the higher person that, okay, I need to concentrate currently on this work and I will join back in a couple of hours or something like that. So I think it's better to prioritize your task, and definitely it's better to first understand what is important to you, whether you want to follow the path of, like, not path, I would say it's always a choice, like whether you want to keep on. There are a couple of meetings that you can't deny, definitely you have to be present on that. At the same time, you have to figure out how you want to divide your pay time in a certain way where you can keep at least 2 to 3 hours for your own thing to do. Like, 2 to 3 hours, I want to put everything on hold. I want to wrap up my coding. I want to sort this out. This is a way I think is something we can figure it out. And probably I got the leadership where I had the chance to talk to them. I had the chance to express that, okay, I want to focus on these things first. Maybe this meeting I can skip because it's not required for me. There is no other inputs that will come from my side to join this meeting. And I have couple of tickets and I have couple of features to develop. I have this much of user story to deliver, and that's it. But if you want to learn something extra, I guess that you have to do in your own time, because company, I don't think will going to pay you extra for learning new things. All you have to learn whenever you are working. And I think beyond that, if you want to use some of the other things to grow yourself, I think that you have to do in your personal time. Like, you can't expect that you have other tickets and everything, and you also can learn a new tech which is not related to the project. Not sure, like, I shouldn't say. Maybe you can find some loophole there if you can do.
Yeah, I agree, but I also wasn't directly working with that company, but I know that they were having this kind of policy to learn new things. I think they were allocating some time, even discussing it, and also at some point in the company I've been working. Uh, there were different, I would say, in-company meetups to share, to make small presentations or share some knowledge about the technologies or topics at hand, and they were allowing also people who are not directly working with that. So that would mean investing some time and effort into educating or showcasing other engineers, some other technologies, and how they could benefit, and maybe invest some time in learning it. So that's all.
Yeah.
That there is this kind of policy as well.
Yeah, that is there. Deloitte also had. You can also like take 5 days or 6 days off from your project time, and you can learn a new tech and you can complete a certification. All you have to do prior to that, you have to, like just let your manager know that for 5 days you will be completely busy into 9 hours of learning. So I think every company has that, like this type of policies where the certification happens and all. Yeah, these are there. I also had for one Kubernetes.
Oh, okay. So, but of course, becoming an expert would require investing some of the free time, the evening spends or weekend spent to
Production
to
issues.
yeah, to learning, fixing, failing, and being happy that everything finally worked.
Yeah, that's why you should always follow no deployment on Fridays.
True. Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's so true. I have to ask about the elephant in the room, which is AI nowadays. It's kind of huge.
That's a mysterious elephant. No one knows what it's doing.
But yet it's here and it's making so many people anxious about it. And I would like to hear your take on how do you see it and how will it will impact day-to-day engineering work, like maybe for you or engineers.
Look at it as more of someone like a mentor. Maybe sometimes it can be wrong, it can be right. But once I would say the time when I started my career, we didn't have this much of opportunity, this much of flexibility to understand, oh, how the code should look. All we had to do is if there is some particular error or something like that, we used to search in the Google, right? The same I think just got replaced what we are doing in the Copilot or some, like chat or chat GPT or something. Oh, my project is having this issue. Nowadays, another thing I have seen, Vercel. It actually, I have used that also. That is actually can build a whole small package for you for any UI application. Imagine all you have to do is you have to draw a screen on Figma. You import that Figma design in Vercel, and Vercel will give you the whole Next.js compact written code packages component to you. So that is something I would say there is no something like writing the code from the scratch. So that option is, I think, a lot of time got reduced for engineers like us. But again, yeah, I would not say that blindly you can trust it, because again, it is written by someone who is not with you. So all I can see as a day-to-day engineer, your workload can be reduced, definitely, but your workload can be increased if you're blindly following that. Because if you're not testing it properly, if you're not going through the code, once it is get broken in the production, even the chat GPT will not answer you why it is broken.
Yeah.
But it's a great opportunity. I think if we all can become some super user of AI, I always keep on hearing the same thing from one of the director of technology from the current company. He used to say that use as much as you can to understand how it is thinking, how what new things you are getting. But at the end of the day, you have to decide what you want to take, what you want to throw, how much you want to modify, what more you can do. So the baseline, if you want to create a baseline, I guess it's the best thing to use it, because at least you have something to start on. A lot of time people, I guess, get a lot of problem when they are given a white page. If even a one line is drawn there, they can start making much more better painting there. So just consider it as that one line on that white page. So that one tool I got the chance to use was Vercel, was something that completely shook me after seeing that. That just by looking at a screenshot or just a Figma design, how it can just write down the whole code and one after another page with all the routing and all with React and Next.js. But again, like you have to do the later on changes from your side.
Yeah, well, since they built the Next.js and the way the AI advances, that was the next logical step that they will take, and in order to stand out and make Next.js much more attractive.
Yes, I see that. Nowadays, a lot of places they are using the Next.js. But again, the vulnerabilities are coming. Recently, we all got a mail that we have to downgrade the version. So, yeah.
Yeah, totally, totally. Um, But coming back to the review part, like you mentioned, that engineers nowadays would be, and in the future maybe, it will be more like supervisors for code that was potentially generated. But there is a catch for that. You need to know what's wrong.
Yes, that is the thing.
Yeah, and for junior and mid-level engineers who doesn't have that experience on noticing the problem, uh, there are potentially two issues. The first one is the chicken and egg problem, how they get experience with AI in place in order to supervise the AI. And the other part of the problem is those who are already in the industry but didn't reach the a good level. They are genuinely worried about AI replacing them at some point. What's your perspective on that?
Probably until um, it's something like, I shouldn't say that engineers will be replaced by AI, but I can say that people who knows how to use AI, they can replace those engineers who doesn't want to use AI.
Yeah,
Because you understand, right? Once you have something, it's like running a sprint with your normal stamina, and you just got some other heavy high protein that build up your stamina in an extra way. So whoever will, who will win the rest. The person who is not taking good thing, and it's simple like that. So I am not sure, like I can't comment on this right at this moment. Maybe in future there will come a situation where the AI can like think like a human, do everything like a human. Definitely there will be no use of us as an engineers. But for now, if you know how to use, probably that is one of the best way to do that, because you can only get replaced if you are not getting aligned with the new tech stack, new horizon that is coming. Not like randomly if you're doing good at your job just because AI came and you got replaced. Because somebody needs to know what AI is writing, right?
yeah,
You asked AI to generate a component or maybe just generate a project on Python, calling an LLM. Someone who knows Python, someone who knows how the LangChain works can only identify what is the problem with the component. So yeah, that is one of the way you can consider that. You should know how to use that. You should know the base should be there.
agree with you. But still, I think that for juniors also it's important to get the fundamentals
Yes.
and to get their hands dirty and fail with a couple of projects before actually using AI for delivering production ready code.
Yes, I think that is where I feel, I'm not sure how many people will agree or not, that people who just started their journey with AI, if they think whatever AI is building, blindly follow, I'll follow the same thing, I'll just copy paste the whole thing. I think you should have the challenge in yourself to write something from your side, because only then it will be, because the people who are already been fed with the spoon, they will know how to use the hand. As simple as that.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It has to be the habit of understanding what's working under the hood,
Yes.
as we spoke earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
So definitely you should use AI, but at the same time you should know that how to write code rather than completely depending on that.
Use it carefully.
Yes.
Use it with care.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I really like your perspective on that. Thank you for sharing it. Right now, we are moving to the conclusion of our discussion. So, I would like to have a quick fire round of questions. So, the first thing that I would like to ask you: can you tell like one of horror story from your career?
Production rollback.
Maybe if some Friday deployment even
Not, it was a Friday deployment as well
failed.
as a rollback in the production. So you can understand how much horror is there in that one story.
Oh,
There was one particular change that was supposed to go, that was doing all the calculation for the booking, calculation part, how the money is going to get calculated, your quotation and everything, and especially the cargo weight. Imagine the half of the change went, and the half of the change didn't go because when the branch was marched, that one particular commit was not cherry picked. So the calculation looked very different in production, and it was deployed on Friday. When the bookers and the from the product owners started testing, they were like, "What?" And there was no time to do the changes again or to find out the commit. And my lead called me up, and he was like, "You were supposed to do that, right?" I was like, "I have done that. I think I know I have committed it." He's like, "For the time being, we are just going to roll back. We are not going to keep the feature open because it is showing very wrong calculation." So yeah, that's a pretty good horror story.
Yeah, that's
It
a horror
actually
story.
taught me a lesson. I think post that, I think I used to get more involved whenever the branch was getting cut or whenever the branch was getting deployed in the production. I was like, I need to see if my commits are there or not.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is kind of quite common Git issue, especially on a Friday when the attention is a little bit lower and
Yeah.
you deploying it, and according to Murphy's law, if there
Yeah.
is a chance, they will.
Horrible, horrible. That was my first
and
project, and
and
it was like,
the weekend's ruined. Yeah,
and the weekend. Not only mine, the people who were in France on onsite, my lead was like, "What did you do?"
yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting story. Thank you for thank you for sharing it. Uh, okay, one other question. Can you share a couple of books that shaped your thinking as an engineer?
I'm not sure if those books actually had something to do with engineering because I can't say that books on C, Java, or whatever we have read. But I am an avid reader. I read a lot. So definitely I would say there are books that actually changed my way of looking at the things, keeping me calm or knowing that okay, some good things can happen. One of the book is definitely Winner Stands Alone by Paulo Coelho. And I love The Alchemist. This is something. And if I look back at the classic Jules Verne, though they are not related to any engineering stuffs or not, but definitely those books are something that made me think and look at the things in a different way. Yeah, because I'm an avid reader, I have said, right? And if you ask me about shaping as an engineer, definitely I'm not going to name the book of Java, C, Cloud. No, no, no. Those are good for the professional thinking. But as a person, no. I'll stick to the
So
classics.
sorry, those are more like library style documentation, not
Yeah.
strict technical
Yeah.
documentation, but a documentation that shares more example and more use cases than just document the functionalities.
Maybe people can align with the writer Kafka. We have Kafka as a technology, and also we have Franz Kafka, the
Yeah,
great. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Franz Kafka. So yeah, I read a lot of his books.
I just read only the process from the Kafka. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you so much for sharing. One more question, and I think that that would be suffice.
Mhm.
What would be one thing that you would change about how the industry develop or grow engineers?
Not one thing. I would say it's a couple of things rather.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like don't kill their hunger. Don't kill their hunger to learn, know more. Don't stop them from asking questions because that's something I have seen when the egoistic manners come. A lot of senior leaders they don't like. But I'm lucky that in Deloitte, uh, this managing director Ravi Katragadda, he clearly told me one thing. I like the way you question. All you have to know is to make your question stronger and the timing of the question. Because you are young, if you do a mistake, we are still here to back you up. So I think that sort of a leadership people should have in them. That you let your juniors, you give them the chance, you give them the strength, the confidence to ask question because that's how you lead an industry. That's how you became one of the leader. And I think this is one of the way industry can develop the engineers rather than just making them follow the orders, do the stuff, and just randomly stick to their own routine and all. Yeah, just let them be someone who can take charge, ask question, learn new things, grow faster, take good decisions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and it's a different perspective, I would say, quite different. Thank you for sharing it. Regarding the questions, it's for me it's quite similar, but at some point I decided, and it kind of changed how stuff was going on for me once I set myself that there are no dumb questions. Especially, for instance, if I onboarded the project, the chances are that I don't know that much of the domain and especially the specifics of the company. So that's unique for the company. And I have to ask questions, even if those are pretty silly or pretty dumb, just to avoid any other confusion down the road. So I think it's totally normal, and I think engineers shouldn't be afraid of asking dumb
Yes.
questions. That's very cool. Thank you so much, Tamasa, for sharing it. I think we can wrap it up. Just if you can share something about you right now, like what's something exciting that you are working on or pursuing at this point, if you can share, and how can
So
people follow your work?
yeah, definitely they can follow me in LinkedIn, the most professional, yeah, most professional network. And if not, I'm available on the LinkedIn any point of time, any sports arena. Come and see me playing the sports that I play, or you can find me climbing the mountains. Anyhow, the work, the work I would rather say that I was a Java full stack. I'm still a Java full stack developer, but recently the project I'm currently in is completely on Python, React, Next.js. It's purely with LangFuse, LangChain of building agentic AI solution. So that is actually exciting as well as a big learning opportunity for me because of the tech stack and the way the system and everything works. So that's how it is making things more exciting for me because every day I'm getting exposed to new challenges, new errors, and new problems to solve. And yeah, that's looking good to me because this is a cutting edge technology, and I got a chance to put my hands in it. So that gives me an immense pleasure to do that.
Thank you so much, Tamasa, for joining me today. It was a very great pleasure to talk to you, and thank you so much for sharing all your story and your journey. I believe many engineers will get some advices and learn from it. And yeah, I will share all your contact in the description, and people can reach you out directly.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot for this great opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.